Visión comunal, en contacto con las comunidades.
Venezuela in the news. News from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Headlines. Nicolás Maduro decreed fourth wage increase of the year. Armed forces deployed today in alert of the threat of a national strike. In Vienna, a meeting starts between OPEC and non-OPEC countries. The Venezuelan president Nicolás Maduro announced a new wage increase that will enter into effect starting November 1st. The head of state emphasized that the integral minimum wage will increase 40% in all of the public administration. This would be the 35th increase in 17 years of the Bolivarian government, and the fourth decreed this year. The increase also will benefit the country's pensioners, more than 3 million elderly people who have this right. In Venezuela, 85% of the people with age to receive this benefit have a pension. The announcements are made in the midst of internal tensions induced by ultra-conservative sectors who intend to break the constitutional order. The fall of the oil prices has prevented the government from maintaining a solid social policy. This year also, the salary has increased 451% in Venezuela. The Bolivarian National Armed Forces will deploy today throughout the national territory to guarantee the production and distribution of basic products, informed the Venezuelan Minister of Defense Vladimir Padrino Lopez. The order was given after ultra-conservative sectors announced a general strike starting today as part of a plan to overthrow from power President Nicolás Maduro. The armed forces will inspect, fundamentally, agro-industrial and pharmaceutical companies, indicated Padrino Lopez. In December of 2002, a strike was activated and expanded over the Venezuelan oil industry, leaving $20 billion losses, an amount similar to the current international reserves of the country. A spokesman of the High Political Governmental Command confirmed that yesterday a petition was presented to the Constitutional Chamber of the Supreme Court of Justice to denounce several coup-perpetrating actions promoted by the Venezuelan parliament. Deputy Hector Rodriguez denounced the intent of a coup d'etat held by the parliament, as stated the local media. The parliament tries to activate a political judgment against President Nicolás Maduro, a figure that constitutionally does not exist in Venezuela. Also, it will aim to revoke the president, arguing an alleged abandoning of power, admitted Henry Ramos Ayub, president of the legislative power. Venezuela's political system prevents a power of the state from judging the actions of the president, recalled Rodriguez.
Venezuela in the news.
A police officer was murdered and several resulted wounded during the dispersed attacks that groups who oppose Nicolás Maduro activated in the central region of the country and other capitals. The protests started in the beginning of the week, but were intensified on Wednesday, coincided with the marches of the opposition held in the main capitals of the country. The police confirmed that there were also wounded protesters, but did not specify the amount of affected people. The public prosecutor's office announced the arrest of a police chief and initiated a profound investigation after a clash between demonstrators and the police in the state of Zulia to the west of Venezuela. For next week, a meeting is scheduled in Caracas between the Minister of Interior and Justice, Néstor Reverol, and the 141 police chiefs of the country. The protests are part of a coup-perpetrating plan that ultra-conservative sectors activated to overthrow Nicolás Maduro from power. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries will hold today a technical meeting in Vienna to continue the conversations for a global agreement to recover and stabilize the oil market. The OPEC also invited 12 producing countries from outside the group, confirmed Caracas, one of the main members of the organization. Russia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Oman, Egypt, Bahrain, Colombia, Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, Bolivia, Norway, and Canada were invited. The meeting between the OPEC and non-OPEC countries will be tomorrow, according to the agenda reported by the international media. In September, the OPEC decided to cut almost 1 million barrels from its current quota, which is above 33 million barrels per day. The oil-producing countries haven't determined yet when the decision will enter into effect and which countries outside the OPEC will join in.
News from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Headline: Nicolás Maduro decreed fourth wage increase of the year. Armed forces deployed today in alert of the threat of a national strike. In Vienna, a meeting starts between OPEC and non-OPEC countries.
Venezuela in the news. News from the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Visión comunal, en contacto con las comunidades.